All right, let's talk with Karsten Battles. I just asked Ryan Walk same thing. With last year being a kind of a free year, I looked at the roster and I think sophomore, junior, freshman. Where are you in terms of play?
Well, extra free year of college is something you can't just pass up. So I'll be staying for a fifth year, hopefully, if they have me.
I think they're going to have you. You're the one guy. Jorgie and I do the radio play-by-play and have for a lot of years. And there's always one guy we never talk about. That's the long snapper. You don't talk about him unless he makes a mistake. You guys very rarely make mistakes. I can't remember mentioning your name last year very often except to say we know you were long snapping. Do you feel an extra pressure with that ball in your hands in a situation like that? I mean, the offensive linemen and the skill position players, they're all set without the ball. You start every play on a snap with the ball. What's that like? Take us through that.
Well, I only have to be perfect. That's what's required of me. So a friend of mine put it simply and said that if a quarterback throws 7 touchdowns and two interceptions a game, he's going to win Heisman. If I have 12 perfect snaps and I mess up one, I'm fired. And so there's a lot of pressure, but just over time, I've just kind of gotten used to it, and it's just another day in the office. So,
when did you become a long snapper? I mean, a lot of guys want to be a quarterback. You want to be a running back. You want the ball in your hands. Well, you got the ball in your hands. When was it that you turned into a snapper?
So my freshman year of high school, I wasn't that big, and my brother, he was a junior at the time, and he was 5'2". And so I'm like, well, that's where I'm headed. And so I knew I wanted to get on the field to play, and so one position that's kind of overlooked is long snapper. And so I met with a local guy in San Antonio and started training with him, and then I grew. And I hit 5'11", then 6 foot, and then I kept staying with snapping just because we needed someone to do it. And then I started to get national recognition, and I went to higher camps, and then all of a sudden offers started coming in. I was like, well, I could actually do that.
What's the toughest part of long snapping? I mean, it's got to be, you got a couple of guys over your head, and rules don't allow them to take you on quite as quickly as they used to. But what's the toughest part of that job?
Being consistent. So one major key of being consistent and doing it is keeping conditions the same, and they're never the same. And so I have to do everything I can to keep what I do similar so we can get a similar result to make sure that I'm consistent.
Do different holders, punters, require a different delivery of the ball? Is that something you guys have to work out, or is it pretty much standard?
Good is good, but all punters, they have a slight different preference, or holders have different preference where they catch the ball, and then the coaches have a spot they want to see it come in at. Yeah. And so just a combination of both of their opinions is where I like to deliver it.
How tough was last year for you? I know your teammates, it was an up and down, didn't know what was coming up next, and empty stadiums. What was that like?
Empty stadiums were probably the weirdest thing because I haven't played in less than probably 8,000 people since I was playing on varsity in high school. So just the empty stadiums was so eerie. It felt like we were just going out for another practice. It just, like our Fast Friday that we have in the stadium, it just felt like we were just going out there to practice, and then you get in there and there's cameras, and it was very, very weird to play without fans.
Karsten, what do you do for fun? I mean, you got class, you got practice, you got to have a life there. Do you have some activities, some hobbies, some things you like to do?
Well, I fish, I shoot, I go off-roading when I get my car back, that is.
When you get your car back, that was a little, you hung that out there in the air.
Yeah, I might have wrecked it a couple months ago and still don't have it back yet.
Off-roading will do that to you. I've done that myself. You're a big guy. I talked about Ryan, about liking food. Do you have roommates? Who are you rooming?
I actually don't room with anyone that's on the team. I met a bunch of different guys from doing different activities and classes around campus and hit it off with a couple, so I live with them right now. I actually move tomorrow.
Oh, really? Okay. Talking about food, you like to cook? Are you a good cook?
I'm good at working the grill.
Okay. That's cooking?
Yeah.
That counts.
Yeah, and so I enjoy making burgers and wings and such like that. Not necessarily healthy things, but good things.
What's the most important or the biggest thing you're looking forward to getting back to this year?
The fans, absolutely the fans. That's the one thing that I miss the most when playing here is just the eerie silence and then the fake crowd noises. I hate that. Just some real fans, some real noise. That'd just be excellent.
I will go along with that. As a snapper, a long snapper, what are you part of the offensive line as far as drills and things? I mean, is that your group?
No, I'm basically considered a combo, so like kind of like just another linebacker. So I get to run with the linebackers and the mids.
Did you ever quarterback?
Excuse me?
Did you ever play quarterback?
Well, in high school, I threw I think it's 57-yard touchdown pass.
Yeah, it's crucial. Your team, I think you were 40 of 41 in pad attempts as far as snaps. Completed one pass your senior year for 56 yards and a touchdown. All right? Yeah, so 56 yards. How'd that come about?
So my brother, he played quarterback in high school. He didn't play, but he played quarterback. And so he always used to have me throw with him. So I got pretty good at throwing, and I also played baseball, so I have a pretty strong arm. And I was just messing around in before practice one day, and my coach looked at me. He's like, "You can throw." I'm like, "Yeah, I can throw." And so he drew up the play, and I didn't think we were actually going to run it because in practice we didn't run it successfully once, but it worked out in the game. So.
You ever get to do it again? I mean, it was successful.
No, just the once. That's all it was for me. It's not often you get to mark a point in your life when you peak. So.
Well, I hope we get to call your name many times when we say you're going onto the field getting ready for a snap. But once that play starts, we won't mention your name again because every time it's perfect.
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, that was one thing I was told when I come to college. It's like you can be the best long snapper ever if nobody knows your name.